Oh, hello. So, this is the long-awaited um holiday episode. And don't worry, the title, it's just a transitional period in my life. I'm not turning into a girl. Uh, anyway, um, I had a really shit day today, and I don't know why. I think people were just pissing me off. Like, it was just so unnecessary. I went into work, and maybe it's just that. Maybe it's just that place, like, my body is rejecting that place. Um, Also, I had some really shit kiwis a second ago, which also didn't help my mood. I'm okay now. I think I took a nap and um, I had some granola. And I'm gonna be making crackers. I think. I think I could be fucked. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. But basically, about 2 weeks ago, I came back from holiday. And I went back to Poland. Um, and we all know how these. Was my mic in? Let's hope I recorded the first part of that. I mean, it's recording something, so hopefully. Anyway, um, yeah. So we always know that my trips to Poland kind of start a little bit iffy and then end a little bit iffy. So I always kind of either get into an argument with my parents or my mom, or not even like an argument, but we always talk about like some serious drama and I can't face the music. So I kind of just shut down and then come back to the UK and think like, yeah, fuck that trope. I didn't need to go there. I didn't need this. I didn't need to see them. Fuck this, fuck that. But this time, I had a great time. This is what I mean. I think like this whole trip, I made some notes as well about things to talk about. This whole trip was like a very transitional kind of period into a new era. And we all know, I've been talking about it, yapping about it all year, all year long, about how I'm stepping into a new phase of life and I do feel it. And I do think that these things take time. I don't think it's just like you just wake up one day and you're in a completely new, shifted reality. I think that it does take some time and you do feel that slow buildup to kind of where you need to be or where you need to be for the time being. Like this isn't the full, evolution. This isn't my full Pokemon evolution. This isn't my mega form yet. But I'm slowly getting, I think, into that like new new phase of I don't know what's around the corner. I can't tell you what's around the corner. I would want to, and I would love to manifest. I'd love to kind of just know where I'm gonna be, but I don't. But I do know it's bigger and better, and I'll just be so much more happier, you know? Anyway, so notes that I took. Overall, the trip, because to be fair, like I should have recorded this a good like 2 weeks ago, the minute I came back. Because I was in that mindset. I was in that kind of anyway. Um it just felt the whole trip felt different. Like I got sick, right? I caught a cold. No biggie, whatever. I don't go through this whole man flu bullshit. Like, grow up, you know. Took some medication, bought some pills, laid in bed, whatever. Took some lazy days off. Awesome. Still cooked, still cleaned, still did whatever. And I was technically a guest. Um, so yeah, I mean, I got sick, but I took that opportunity to I use it as an excuse not to go out and see people because I didn't need to. I really didn't need to. My social battery was drained, hence the holiday. I don't need to. go see people halfway. Like my sister, like this whole thing. I don't know if I spoke about it in other episodes. Even if I did, whatever. We're gonna go over it again. My sister had this grand idea for me to basically land in Poland, right? And then from Poland, take a train into Warsaw. Like, yeah, I was in Warsaw because I mean the fucking plane is in, or the airport is in Warsaw. But just to take it to kind of Warsaw Central, and then from there go to this other city, her city now where she's living her um legally blonde era, because she got into law school. So um Wrocław, that's what it's called, right? So she wants me to travel to Wrocław for, I think it was like 4 hours or something stupid like that, and then stay over, right? She's, oh, you can stay over, and then like you can travel back down, or travel not down even. I think she's like sideways. I don't even know where she is. Because I'm looking on the map. For some reason, I thought Wrocław was like up north. It's not. It's somewhere. Never eat songy waffles. It's somewhere in the west. It's um. So yeah. I don't know. Anyway, so she said, "Oh, then you can like travel back to Adam and like go see her parents." I said to her, "I said you crazy." So travel 4 hours, right? So my flight was at 8:25 on Monday. I think it's the 13th. I'm not gonna lie to you. So about a month ago now. Yeah, Monday the 13th. 8:25, which bear in mind, it was so delayed. Because 8:50, we are still stood in that little tight, packed room to leave the airport to get onto the plane. 8:50, we were still getting our like passports checked and our boarding passes checked and stuff. We stood around, I think, somewhere around 9:30. We might have like gotten on a plane. We didn't take off till about 10ish, right? Because I remember messaging my friend who dropped me off. Because she's like, oh, we should probably get there early. And I said, no, girl, because I get through security like that. Like literally, it took me 6.5 minutes to get through security. That's Luton Airport for you. But I still had to wait around. And it was fucking busy at 7 o'clock in the morning. So there was nowhere to fucking sit. Bought myself a breakfast wrap in Black Sheep coffee. And I got a bottle of water. Because I'm not going to drink coffee just in case I need to shit on the plane. I'm not doing that. I'm not shitting on a plane. I'm not even peeing on a plane. I'm not getting up. My ass is sat in that seat. If I'm sitting in the aisle seat and you want to get up, good luck. Climb over me, bitch. Anyway, that's why I prefer window seats. Because, yeah. Because I don't bother anyone. I don't get up. I don't need to, Anyway, so yeah. So I think we took off around 10ish. And yes, of course we had a hot flight attendant on board. And I don't know if I take this situation, it's low-key embarrassing, but it's not. Like, there was another guy that had the same situation. And so basically, what happened is, I was sat, of course, my fucking lucky dumbass gets the middle seat. Right? I'm in like 5E. So you can imagine, I'm right up front, in the middle of these two guys. One of them, and bear in mind, I'm tall. Like I'm bigger, but I'm not big. Like I'm not a big bitch. I don't need one of those fucking seatbelt extenders. Like I still have a lot of space. I can tighten that seatbelt. But I'm pretty tall. And my shoulders, I'm built like a fucking football player. So I'm just out there. Right. And then I'm trying to get comfortable. I'm trying to go to sleep. I put my foot on him. And then somebody taps me on the shoulder. I'm like, who the fuck is touching me? And I turn around. It's this hot flight attendant. And he's like, oh, I think we benefit, like we have a lot of empty seats in the wing section, which, if you don't know, the wing section on the plane, on Wizz Air flights, is the extra leg room, leg space aisle. He's like, oh, we have a lot of like seats back in like aisle, 19 or whatever. In row 19, not aisle, sorry. Row 19. And he's like, oh, I think you'd benefit from like sitting there. And I was like, sick. I said, get up, fucking grandpa. Move. So I got up, went back to 19, left my shit there. I just ran for the hills. And there was another guy that I was actually like, it was funny because it felt like one of those like when Harry met Sally moments, where I was kind of eyeing him at the airport and he was kind of eyeing me, and we were, like kind of making like weird eye contact. And then, surprise, surprise, he also got offered the seat because he was pretty tall as well. So yeah, so it was kind of like trauma bonding, but it wasn't, you know. Anyway, yes, I thought that was quite funny. But I got I don't know, should I be low-key? No, I'm not offended. I'm happy. I'm happy because they recognized me. I felt like I was chosen out of the bunch, I was like a disciple chosen from the heavens above to sit in this row, with extra leg space. Like, why? I mean, I know they don't know how you're built through your passport information. Like, how are they supposed to allocate these seats? And I didn't get an option before on Wizz Air. I used to get an option because I book it through like a secondhand site, like a whatever. It's not dodgy or anything, but it just works out cheaper because I pay in Polish currency. So then it like, when you convert, it's cheaper. But once I got like once I received a confirmation code in an email, and I like logged into the Wizz Air app, and then I could like see I did the check-in on the app, and basically it gave me the option to like change my seat for like £10 or something. So I once did that. I changed it to an aisle, or I changed it to the window seat. The window seats are expensive. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I was on the flight. Yeah, and then, so yeah, like, whatever. Oh, so I was talking about my sister. So I was supposed to land, right? So again, my flight was delayed. I was at the airport for about 3 hours. Then I was on the flight I was on the plane for like 2.5 hours. And then I was supposed to be on the train for about not an hour, but like, I think like a good 30 minutes to 40 minutes to get to Warsaw Central, and then 4 hours to get to my sister. And then she said to me, she's like, oh, her fiance, her now fiance, I'll get it to that. He was doing night shifts. And I said, okay, great. What does that mean? So what, he's doing a 10-6, and she's going to uni. So basically what's going to happen is I get there, we barely have any time together because it's going to be late. We'll probably get a late dinner and go to sleep. He goes to work. I don't even wake up. He's already home, 6 o'clock, right? My sister goes to uni. I wake up. He's there sleeping. And what do? I'm trapped in this apartment. Like, what, am I supposed to watch him sleep? Like some perv? So none of that made sense to me. And then in the end, because I spoke to my mom, because we kind of had this idea, and I was like, and then bear in mind, these tickets were also expensive. Like, I'd have to pay another £60 just to get to my sister, and another like £60 to get back. There's £120 just to go and see a studio apartment, because I wasn't even interested. I'm not there to sightsee. I told my mom, because my mom thought like, oh, he might want to go see like Wrocław. He might want to see like where his sister's living. And I told my mom, I said, why? Why do I care? I don't live there. I don't live in Poland. I'm probably like, I'll have occasions. If I want to go see, I'll go see it on a different occasion. It's not like, it's a limited edition attraction and I won't see it next time. There will be other occasions. So no, I don't really care. I want to relax. I want to rest. This is all about me. My holiday. I don't give a fuck. So my sister then was like, oh, because she wasn't sure because they were going to come. Oh, the other thing was my sister said that they might come on the weekend anyway. So what was the fucking point of me going up there spending £120 if they were going to come down anyway? Or come, you know what I mean? Come see my parents, right? Come to my whole, what the fuck? Come this. I feel like that video of that girl trying to say cast iron skillet. Have you seen that video? Anyway, um, so my sister was gonna like come home anyway. There we go. Come home. Jesus. So I was like, why am I traveling if you're coming home anyway? And she's like, oh, but I'm not sure because this, because that, because he's working and he's doing that. Yeah, whatever. And then turns out they were coming anyway. So I said, no, fuck that. I'm not going anywhere. I am going home. Turns out, got off the plane, booked a train ticket back to my hometown, booked the wrong train because no. And then I was like, because I thought for some reason, like the bus or the train stop was Chopin Airport. No, no. It's a different like state. Like I have to walk somewhere else. And that state, I knew where I was going anyway. But that train station isn't called that. That train stop is called something else. So I had to rebook my ticket while walking there. And then turns out that the train that I was supposed to catch was a little bit earlier than the one that I booked. So I kind of legged it. Got there. 3 different trains came. None of them looked like the one that I was supposed to take. One of them was a completely different color, which obviously means that... Because the thing is, like, in Poland, we have this, like, weird system. If you're taking a train, like, let's say a train to my hometown, I know it's embedded in me that this train's going to be, like, white, green, and yellow, right? This is a different, like, line, right? The red ones are the ones that go around Warsaw. So basically, it's like, kind of like a metro type thing, but it's not. Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah, it's a metro system. And then it's like the overground, underground, you know. They have that in Warsaw. And then there was a blue one, which came out of fucking nowhere. I didn't know where this one was going. So I was like, okay, maybe. And none of them were green, white, and yellow. So I was like, okay. Right. I think because the one that I booked, I had to take somewhere. I had to stop somewhere, and then I had to get into another one. So it wasn't like a, you know, like a direct line. Which fine, whatever. Yeah, that didn't happen. No, 3 of them came. I took no. I said I don't want to risk it because I'm going to end up in some weird fucking village, and I don't know. They'll do some sacrificial shit to me. No, I don't need this on my first day. And it was cold. It was fucking cold. And so yeah, so I'm like, okay, there's 3 more that are coming. So I had to wait like an extra like 30 minutes for the next one. So I messaged my mom. I said I'm gonna be a bit late, and she was gonna go buy some shit anyway. Whatever, she was gonna wait for me. And then I was like, okay, there's another 3. And I'm thinking, I think this is the one I was supposed to get into and get off somewhere else. But the one that I'm taking is a direct line. So I was like, I don't know. So my dumbass just decided to wander into one of the overground trains. I looked at the little system that they had, and I was like, fuck, this definitely isn't the right train. Because his thing ends in like 2 or 3 stops. So I was like, right, I need to get off of the next one. Because I calculated in my head, I was like, doing all these calculations, and I was like, right, if I get off of the next one, and the other one's a direct line, it'll be coming through this village, so I'll get off this one, and I'll get onto that one. That's what I did, and I did it successfully. I don't know why it was so hard. I genuinely don't know what happened to my brain, but I think it just froze over. I think it like genuinely, it was so cold. I could not think. And I felt the cold coming on. Like I knew this was the moment I was done. Um, so yeah, so I got onto the train, got home, took me about an hour and a half on the train to get home, and my mom was waiting. So my mom was waiting at the station, and of course, the first thing I was afraid of is her fucking beady little eyes scanning me up and down. And and of course, the first thing she said to me, she's like, "You couldn't have polished your shoes before you came here." I was like, "Mom, I'm wearing my Doc Martens that I wear to work. I literally have like one pair of like boots and one pair of trainers, and I don't think this is the time of year for trainers. So I wore my boots." And she's like, "Okay." She was happy to see me, don't get me wrong, or whatever. And she's like, "Okay, come on, because we got a bus." So we had to take a little like mini bus back to our village, which is also a weird fucking system because all the fucking either it's students or it's the how do I describe them without offending anyone? Because my mom's part of this group. It's the women that work. This is the working women, but a lot of them are old. So I don't. Mm, yeah, which is weird. They're like they range from like middle age to old. My mom's in the middle age. Anyway, um, so you get on this bus. The bus driver obviously does not want to fucking be there. And he was zooming through the villages. I was like, damn, I forget how it is to arrive in Poland. And yeah, we got on this bus. She did tell me like she didn't necessarily say anything about my build. 'Cause I was so scared. I was so scared I was gonna go home and she was gonna judge me. That was getting way, blah blah. Where all she said, but like I look more muscular, like I look bigger, like more athletic. Than like I don't look fat, and I don't know how to take that really. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's done. It's over with. I don't have to see her till May. Um, Not that I actually had an issue, because I actually had a good time. My mom, surprisingly. Um, so yeah, we're still on the first day. We're already like 22 minutes in. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep yapping. If you want to listen, you want to listen. If not, turn it off. Fuck off. Get fucked. So yeah, and then basically yada yada yada. Get home, whatever. And the dog. Still don't know how to feel about the dog. The dog brought me a lot of pain. Because the first time she saw me, started barking. She went crazy. She was gonna bite my head off. And then like Mama was like, calm down, whatever. And then I fed her, and she was fine. She was like, "Yep, she's my best friend. Give her fucking food. You're her best friend." So yeah, and then I was walking the dog like every day, a couple times a day, because my mom was at work. So I took the dog out into the field. It wasn't far. I didn't go far. I wanted to go far, but then I was like, I don't trust this dog because like I want to have it, like I want to walk it without the lead, but it doesn't really know how to walk. Like it runs away, it starts barking at people. There was like a cow in the field, and it just kept like pacing the cow off. Like it just kept running around the cow and barking at it. I'm like, it's not doing anything. Just leave it alone. But obviously, it's still a puppy. The dog's still a puppy. It's basically a 1-year-old German Shepherd, and her name is Saba. Don't ask. Anyway, um, so yeah, so the dog, and she bit me a couple times. She scratched me, but obviously it was love bites. It wasn't like she bit me like she wanted to, actually. It was like she wanted attention. She bit my hand, and I still have a scratch, and it got bruised, and it really hurt. And now that I'm talking about it, it's like the pain is there. It's very weird. Like I feel where the pain is. But yeah, so that was quite an experience. And then, um, I'm not gonna go step by step, day by day. That's just pointless. But basically, what happened is I spent a lot of time with myself. watching TV shows. Because my dad was there, but he was doing shit, and my mom was at work. They weren't really there until the weekend. And, yeah, so I watched White Lotus. I binged watched all 3 seasons of White Lotus. To be fair, I did kinda cheat because I started the first season, so I was, like, 4 episodes into the first season. So I started from there. Like, I kind of remembered what happened. I didn't miss much. And, um, I don't know, I was gonna talk about White Lotus in this episode, but I kinda don't really feel like it. I feel like I was experiencing my own White Lotus in a different way, like, at home, like an old me had died, and we were kind of waiting till the end to find out how this had happened and how I kind of stepped out of one body and into another. And then there was some drama. There's always drama. It's because I'm even though I'm the oldest, I'm kind of like the middleman, right? Like I talk with my sister, but I also talk with my parents. And it's not like I'm getting different information from both. It's the same shit like at work. Everywhere I go, I'm this kind of like mediator. I'm in the middle of all this bullshit. And people just trust me a little too much with things. And then I kind of don't know what to do with this information. Like I do and I don't, especially when it comes to like family things. Because, and God forbid my sister listens to this. I mean, she can, but I mean, I don't think she does. She's a fake fan. Anyway, so I'm not going to shit talk her. But my mom was telling me bits about like her relationship. And obviously, there's this whole stigma because me and my mom, or my mom and I, we find out things before my dad, and that pisses him off. But he doesn't find out things he doesn't find things out because he's a very intimidating, scary man. Well, even though he's a very gentle, like homebody, he comes across as very intimidating. So we kind of don't approach him with things. Like when I was smoking, I didn't tell my dad for years. Like my mom knew. My dad could have gotten some hints here and there, but it was nothing like, and I smoked around the house all the time. I must have been either really good or really delusional. Good at hiding it. I was either good at hiding it or very delusional because, um, I used to smoke on the balconies and stuff. And then I think I came here, when I traveled here, and then, I was smoking for years. And then I came back and I decided to tell my dad. My grandma even knew. My grandma even knew I was smoking. I was smoking at her house on her balcony, which was a very weird experience. I trust my grandma, and like she trusts me, and like she would never go to my dad and say anything if my grandma knew. Which is weird. I mean, I suppose like I have a good relationship with my grandma, even though 99% of my family doesn't. With this one grandma, I do. Like I do like admire her, even though she was the one that was really funny when it came to like homosexuals. I never came out to her. I never told her anything. I mean, you'd be stupid not to know speaking to me. Anyway, doesn't matter. Um, we were watching something and there was like a pride parade in Poland or something like that. And she's like, you know what? You can love whoever you want to love. I really don't care. But it must hurt taking it up the ass. And she said to me. And I was like, Grandma, you do realize people do anal. She said, do they? I'm like, yeah. Like men and women do it. She's like, not in my time. Anyway. So my dad didn't know I was smoking. And then I came out with my dad and I told him that I was smoking. He's like, it's your life, it's your health. Like he'd be a hypocrite to tell me to like, if he got upset with me, because he started at like he told me he was like 11 when he started. Because back in the day, they're all like smoking. It was just a thing. But anyway, so obviously my mom and I, we knew about my sister's engagement. My dad didn't. And there was this whole like, how are we gonna go about this? This and that. My mom was also telling me a little bit about their like relationship and how she sees things. And my mom, bear in mind, my mom is a very picky person as well. And my mom had no problem with this with my sister's fiance. She she thinks of him as as her third child, and everything was fine. Everything was okay. And then the first night, they come down, or they come home. Sorry, they come home, and my dad picks him up from the train station. They get home. I kind of meet him for the first time. He's taller than me, which is weird because I'm tall, but he's taller. He's like a whole head taller than me. So, yeah, so it was kind of weird because my sister's tall as well, so it makes sense. Like they fit together. And my dad like went to take a shower, went upstairs. And I was like, okay, something's a bit fishy here. Then my mom told me after they went to bed that I think there was a bit of a kerfuffle with like money and some situation because my sister is very much in a position now where my parents are supporting her financially when it comes to paying rent and bills because they want her because she's in law school and she got into this law school. They want her to focus on her studies, so they will help her for the first year. Once she gets kind of situated, then she's going to start paying, which I suppose makes sense. It is what it is. They give me money as well. Like I'm not offended. Like they did help me a lot when I was here, even though I saved up my own money to get here. Every now and then I come back and they give me money. They just give like stupidly just hand me a wad of cash and they're like, okay, like this is for you. This is a present for. We're not going to see you for Christmas. We're not going to see you for your birthday. This is like a year present. And I love when they do it because I love money. Like, give me money, great. But I don't want them to be giving me money. I should be in the one in in a position of I'm helping them, and that's what I did this time. And I felt actually really great about it until they handed me more money. Anyway, I'll tell you about that in a second. But basically, what happened is, my sister came home with her fiance. We kind of sat down. We kind of talked a little bit about things, and my sister had like very like she did some treatment on her hair, so she couldn't wash out this product. I don't know what it was. I spoke to my other friend, my friend Jew, and she said that it was like some straightening treatment or whatever, and you can't wash out the product from your hair for a while, for like a couple days. And her hair was like very greasy. Right? Not shit talking my sister. I'm just kind of telling you little anecdotes here and there. So I was like, girl, you all right? And then we were talking. Mom was like, we're just the four of us, just kind of breaking the ice in a way because we didn't want it to be awkward. We were going to spend the whole weekend together. We just wanted a little bit of kind of mutual understanding, like just some middle ground. So we were just chatting, and basically, I think I brought up the subject of like, oh, what did you guys like eat last week? Because I'm curious. Like they've moved out. It's the first month they were like out of the house. They moved in, 4 hours away from home. Like I was wondering how they were getting situated. And like she was like, oh, we made some spaghetti. We did this. We did that. And then one day, she said that they made ramen. And like in my head, like you can eat ramen, like the instant noodles that you buy in the little packs or whatever. But like you kind of add things. Like you add some chicken, you add some egg, you add some spring onions, sesame, whatever bullshit, yeah. But I think they just kind of ate it like that. So my mom just made like a joke. What did she say? She said something along the lines of like, you're feeding him ramen. And my sister was like, she got so offended. She was like, no, no, like this and that, blah, blah. And they were talking about some hot sauce that they put in it and this and that. And it was really funny because me and my mom were like the two. It's weird because I've had this relationship with my mom And obviously I recorded a whole episode about mommy issues, about having this kind of lackluster relationship with my mom. But this time it felt different. It really did feel different. And I think it's because my friend Ju said this. We both moved out. We both moved out. And she's not comparing the two kids. She's not comparing me and my sister whatsoever. But now that we're both home, she kind of has a different understanding of what it means to be alone, what it means to have the house to yourself. She even calls the dog like her third child at home. Like she wants to raise this as her child because God forbid she has an actual third child. So I think we've both moved down. I think she has this different kind of, like, I didn't tell my mom a lot of things when I came here. I didn't tell her about my addiction. I didn't tell her about relationships. I didn't tell her about anything to do with things that might spark like, oh my fucking God, come home right now. I told nothing about anything to her. So I was just, I don't know, this weird. So they went to bed, right? They went to bed, and my mom and I, we just kind of sat there on the sofa and we were like, this child, feeding him instant noodles, this and that, like, because she really cares about this guy. She really does. And my mom's in a position now where it's like, she wants things to work out. She wants them to be happy. But she knows that my sister is a very, very fiery personality. She's a Scorpio from head to toe. I'll tell you this much. She's the first one to explode. And even that night, she exploded about our comment about instant noodles or whatever, this and that. He is stick thin, right? He is stick thin, but that's, it might be a genetic thing because I know he can eat. And my mom was making like really funny comments. I think she was just kind of tired after the whole day because she was working. It was a Friday. And like we kind of, I kind of cleaned. I got the house ready for them, made their bed because my mom asked me if I could move from, I don't know why she even calls it my room, my sister's room, because none of the furniture that was in there when we lived in there is in there. Right? My room my mom's bed is in there now. Her clothes are in the wardrobe. She has her books in there, and then she has her plants in there, right? And the other room, I'm pretty sure she uses it to iron clothes and has like shoes, and it's basically her walk-in wardrobe. Just not fully there because my sister just moved out, But give it some time, and I'm sure that she'll install like big shelving units with like lights, and she'll put all her shoes on this. I'm sure that'll be the case, but there'll still be a bed in there, and she'll say that it's my sister's room, but it's not. So she asked me if I could move into my sister's room because my room had the double bed, which isn't even my bed, it's my mom's bed, and my sister's bed is still in her technically in her room. And she asked me if I could sleep on the single because obviously, and I said, yeah, no problem. I don't mind. So I made up a bed for them and got everything ready. And my mom was just sitting there and she's like, so this boy walking around in the same fucking shoes. Winter's coming. He's going to work. So the situation with them, I keep going off on these like random fucking tangents. So the situation with them, yeah, I think my sister got into an argument with my dad about money, something to do with money. He chips in. He goes to school, right? He has this like weird like weekend uni that he goes like every 2 weeks or whatever. And he goes on the weekends, but he goes to work. He does a lot of night shifts and whatever, day shifts, and so he pays his half of the rent, and my parents pay my sister's half of the rent and bills and shit. But apparently she went out, she got this treatment for like, let's say, I don't know. I don't even know how much it would be. Let's say like 40 pounds, right? But in Polish money, that's like, to be fair, if you convert it, let's say she got it for 300 pounds. Yeah, that's how I'm going to convert it. Because there's no point in converting it. Because 40 pounds might seem like not that much to get your hair done. But 40 pounds in Poland, 300 Polish zloty, is a lot of money. If they're making the same, like, let's say you're on a 2.5 grand salary, or yeah, 2.5 grand salary for a month, right? That £300 is part of your salary. That's a lot of money. And it's the same thing in Poland. You're making 2,500 zloty or whatever, and 300 zloty is a lot of money coming out of, you know. So let's just say she spent like £300, right? In Out of his money, right? So she got this fucking treatment, and my mom's like, she doesn't even look that good. Don't know why she got this treatment. They could have spent that those £300 to buy him shoes. He's walking around in trainers. Winter's coming. He has one pair of, and she just went on this whole thing. And it was really funny because I knew my mom didn't mean a lot of it. She was just kind of like upset that, the first month and there's already kind of cock-ups and there's more logical ways out of situations that my sister's currently not seeing. But bear in mind, she is literally turning 19 in 5 days. So she's still young. She is still young, dumb, and stupid. She will make mistakes and she will, they will live and they will learn. But basically, like, yeah, just a weird relationship I had with my mom. Like, there was this bond. Like, there was this, I've had moments like this. I've always been more of a mother's son than a father's son. Like, I never had a strong, like, relationship with my dad, even though now it's great and I'm happy with it. And I do feel like some days I bond more with my dad because we can just sit there in silence and it just makes sense. Where sometimes the conversations I have with my mom, or I had in the past with my mom, would just lead to her getting upset, me getting upset, and then door slamming, people crying. Whereas now, even the conversations we had a conversation I think she came home one day after work. And this is the first kind of initial something's weird, situation. She asked me, not in a very intrusive or in a base, like is that a word? Evasive? Invasive? Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know how to speak English. She didn't mean it in like her tone wasn't at all like, but she kind of said to me, she said, this like 10-year plan that you have? And I said, yeah. For the ones that don't know, basically I kind of put this 10-year plan together. I'm going to live 10 years in a different country because that's kind of how it's worked out. I was 2 when we moved to America. I was 12 when we moved out of America. I spent 8 years in Poland. And then, yeah, I was like almost 8 years. I was like 19 when I moved out. And then I came here and I thought like, oh, I'm going to spend 10 years here and I'm going to move on with my life. I'm going to go somewhere else, move to a different country. I was thinking Canada, New York, or go back to America, whatever. And I was going to spend 10 years there and then move again. And, when I'm ready to settle down, I'll settle down. But I kind of wanted to be this like lone, free spirit, just kind of roam the earth and find new people and find new things and new experiences and just find my place, right? And she said to me, she's like, so with the current like political and economical kind of status of the world, are you kind of prepared to kind of throw this plan away and potentially stay a couple extra years in the UK? And I said to her, I said, and this is where I understood, because this has been in the back of my head for a while. And I understood that she gets it. She understands, like, you put plans together, sometimes they crumble, sometimes they don't go to plan. And you kind of have to put it aside and do what you need to do in that moment. And we just had a very civil conversation about the fact that I didn't explode. I didn't say, oh, you don't believe in my plan or this and that, or I'm moving on this. No, I just said to her, I said, most likely that will be the case. most likely I will have to put it aside. Because I thought to myself, what the fuck is, what do they want? It's probably not even important. I don't even care. Actually, where's my phone? Up my ass. Oh, so talking about showers at work. Anyway, so I said to her, I said, my passion and things that I want to do don't involve placence. Placement or complacency. Like it's something that I can do anywhere in the world. My passion is this. My passion is talking to you right now. I want to have the courage to grow this. I want to have the courage to expand. I want to have the courage to, I don't know, record a fucking video, join somebody else, get invited to a podcast show or do whatever, like make this so much bigger. Go online, influence people. I don't know, do interviews, do fucking, even like have the courage to go on a red carpet and like do what Amelia or Emma Chamberlain are doing. Things like that. Like go to the Oscars and just talk to people, you know? Even be in there like a fucking TV show. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of TikTokers and podcasters are doing TV shows. What was that TV show? Overcompensating. Half the fucking cast is people, offline. I'd love to do. I think I'd be great at that. That's where I want to. That's what I want to do. That's where I want to be. But I don't have to go anywhere to do this. Like I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna, work on myself, work on my courage, work on my, camera work or whatever I need to do. And then I'll get discovered. People will find me. People will listen to me. People will invite me. And then potentially from there, I need to have a station. I need to have a base somewhere. And then from there, I can go and do things. Like I can go to America and stay there for 2 weeks or whatever for some events, or go here, go do that, or stay with some friends. Maybe I'll make some friends somewhere. I don't know. But most likely I won't be moving to Canada to start all over again. Because if you think about it, well, I turn 30, right? I go to Canada with nothing. I have some money. I don't have, I have some experience behind me. But I have to start all over again. I have to start saving again. I have to start from, probably some shitty jobs here and there. And, yeah, it's just like, oh, sorry, I got a message. I just feel like there's no point to do that. I don't want to do that. So I thought if I just kind of, and I'm not saying I want to get comfortable. I just want to kind of, I want to see where things go. I want to see, I want to stay here for a couple more years. Not a couple more years, or maybe forever. I don't know. But just kind of take things one day at a time. And hopefully, maybe potentially, something will happen. I do believe that. And I think my mom believed that at that point. She asked me, she's like, so where do you want to be? What do you want to do? I told her this. I told her exactly this. I said, maybe my future is influencing and being a people's person and being out there and just having fun with other people and just seeing the world from a completely different perspective. Or my life is to stay where I am in the workplace that I'm in and become some fucking CEO of the company. I don't know. I don't know where life's going to take me. I have no idea what life's got in store for me. But I know that I'm going in the right direction. I'm gonna end this very much on a cliffhanger because we are not even halfway through the week of my holiday. But I just feel like 50 minutes is more than enough to listen for one episode, and I'm going to record this part 2 probably right after this. And hopefully you'll hear it soon. But there's so much more in store to talk about. Um, and yeah, I'll see you next time in part 2.